Greetings, dear viewers. This is a video game called Mobile Legends. It is essentially League of Legends, except not. It's not officially League of Legends. Actually, Mobile Legends does quite a lot to make itself its own thing. But it also doesn't try and hide the fact that it is almost, in most important ways, a one-for-one remake of League of Legends for Android or for iOS. You can get it on the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. But it is extremely similar to League of Legends. They have taken everything from League of Legends that works and put it into a condensed mobile format. And it turns out to be a very good game, so much so that I don't even think you could say that Mobile Legends is a ripoff of League of Legends, so much as a faithful recreation of it in a mobile format, which means the games are shorter, the gameplay is more streamlined, and in my opinion, there are some things that Mobile Legends does that even League of Legends, that even Riot Games could learn from. Although, of course, there are some things that League of Legends does that Mobile Legends could do a little bit better. But in any case, I'm not going to talk it up anymore. I just want to get into some gameplay and show you folks what it's all about. Before I do that, though, there are some tabs down here. Like we've got prep, for example, and you probably want to come into prep whenever you're first starting out. Well, you're going to do the tutorial and stuff like that, but you want to come into prep. It's essentially your runes and your summoner spells. You have things called emblems, which are just like runes in League of Legends, and you get little emblem sets. This is a physical emblem set. You want to use this with physical damage champions. You can come to abilities, which are essentially your summoner spells. Here's an execute one. It deals a ton of true damage to a specified hero, and this goes up with your level. So it's just a sudden bam, an execute ability. You use it to deal a sudden burst of damage, hopefully finishing off a target. You've also got Retribution. I'm not very high level, so all these other ones unlock later, but I've also got Retribution, which serves as this game's version of Smite, almost, which deals less true damage than Execute. Actually, Execute seems to start off with less, but ends up with more. But Retribution deals less true damage overall in the end game than Execute does. And it also raises damage to monsters, which is jungle creeps and things like that, by 30% for 3 seconds. So if you wanted to go a jungling route, you could probably use Retribution, but Execute is really good. So now you got those for your summoner spells, so to speak, or abilities in this game. And then you have gear, which is the recommended gear sets for different players. I'm not gonna get too much into or different heroes. I'm not gonna get too much into this right now, but as you can see, you've got your damage, like Tooth of Greed here, which is all these stats look very similar to League of Legends. You got Thor's Sting, which is another one. Of course, any recommended set is going to have boots. This one has warrior boots. So anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that. You've got your roster of heroes here, which all look very League of Legends-esque, don't they? Like, you can probably pick out a few that look exactly like League of Legends characters. Like, this guy looks like Skull Gangplank. However, when you really get into this sort of thing, it turns out to be, like, while yes, he is supposed to remind you of Gangplank, and he is sort of like Gangplank in the way that he plays, while he is supposed to do that for you, that's what you're supposed to think of when you see him, he does have his own unique playstyle. And the same is true for all of these champions. Layla, for example, looks and plays similarly to Jinx.
We can do it.
You can see her right here. She looks and plays similarly to Jinx. She's got the long hair, and she runs around, you know, very scantily clad. She's got her thin frame and this huge weapon, the way Jinx carries around her gun. She even has a very similar running animation. But her abilities, while they serve the same role as those that Jinx do, are pretty different. Her ult, for example, is much more like Lux's ult than it is like Jinx's ult. Anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is that, yes, if you see a champion here, and they remind you of someone from League of Legends, odds are they play sort of like that champion from League of Legends and might fulfill the same role. But they do things in their own unique way that's just as fun. So anyway, and you can organize them by tank and fighter and assassin, mage, marksman, support, etc. Apparently there's only one support in the game, Rafaela, so far.
Prayers for you.
I don't know what she does yet. I haven't looked into too much of any of this. I only have a couple of champions, so I only play a couple of champions unless someone else is playing them. But anyway, you've also got a bag that's got some inventory things that you can earn, and a shop, of course, but we're not going to get too much into that. I'm gonna go to battle. Oh, it looks like Zura's actually online. Let's see if he wants to play one. Let me add him. Let me invite him to team here. Okay, no problem. I will just get into a match solo so I can show you folks what this is all about. I'm probably going to play as Layla, which is that Jinx-like champion that I was just talking about. If not, then I'll play as someone called Yun Zhao, which is definitely someone that should remind you of Xin Zhao from League of Legends. And yes, it's actually pronounced Zhao. Xin Zhao's name is pronounced Xin Zhao, not Xin Zhao. Alright, so I gotta hit enter game here. Shows me that I'm ready. We've got 5v5 lining up at this point. So if I don't get to play Layla, I'll probably play Yun Zhao, and if I can't play Yun Zhao, then I'm probably going to play someone completely new in this game. Actually, there's one other champ here that I know, kinda, that I played in this game's version of ARAMs. Man, this game is actually a lot of fun for a mobile game. I'm playing it on PC using the BlueStacks emulator, and I have gone through the effort of setting up my PlayStation 4 controller to work with this, so it will still play handheld rather than with keyboard and mouse. Oh, looks like someone picked Layla and Yun Zhao. Oh no, got him. Okay, got Yun Zhao. Now that I've got him, I'm actually going to click this and say, I'll jungle. Boom. I'll let folks here know that I'm going to be jungling. So, oh wait, did someone else get him? Okay, there we go, I got him.
Zhao Dragonborn is here.
Okay, I hit I'll jungle. Now I'm going to choose the Retribution spell. I've never used it, actually. I'm going to choose damage jungling as my item set, and my emblem set is going to be physical damage. That's the only one I have. Alright, so I'm going to be a physical damage jungler. You can see Yun Zhao's capabilities here. He's a fighter, and his role is charge engage. So I'm going to try and get my team, I'm going to try and set up my team for ganks and things like that. So if you're familiar with League of Legends at all, if you're familiar with jungling, this is going to look very familiar to you because this map is essentially the mobile version of Summoner's Rift. This game makes no effort to hide the fact that it is a very faithful, almost one-for-one remake of League of Legends for mobile devices. And if you like League of Legends, this is a marvelous game to play. I'm having a great time with it. But I must preface this entire thing by saying that the controls are probably going to be a little bit quirky for me because I'm playing a mobile game which is designed for touchscreens with a PlayStation 4 controller emulating an Xbox controller on a Windows PC through an Android emulator. So things are going to be a little bit awkward. Alright, so you start off by shopping. Oh, I got to set up my... Hang on. Alright, controller's working. Alright. So I got to pick my first item, which is over there in the top... I'm gonna pick the sword first, and I get to level up one of my abilities. I'm gonna be jungling, so I need to get straight into the jungle over here.
It would take an army to stop me.
I'm gonna start with that ability. Actually, I want to start with what would be Krug's, which is over here. All right. So we're gonna start off by auto attack. I'm not gonna explain to you what exactly the controls and everything are, and what exactly is happening, or how I have it all set up. But you can see that this is essentially League of Legends. The opposing team picks up first blood. I'm not sure I like that. That's not a good start. Let's try and get into some more action. Get red buff over here. There is red buff. As you'll notice, he's in the same position as red buff in League of Legends. That's the thing. Let's smite him. Boom! There's a smite. It even looks like smite. That was pretty cool. I also have a summoner spell called Regen, and I am going to use Regen. All right, let's pick up my second ability, and I'm going to use Regen. Now that I've got red buff, actually. Now that I have red buff, I'm going to actually go defend bot lane because apparently nobody has gone bot lane. Nobody has gone bot. Okay, let's go throw this guy backwards over here. Boom. Okay. Well, I was gonna go gank for mid or bot, but apparently bot needed some help because it's all alone. Now I gotta level up one of my abilities. I'm gonna level up that first ability. I could explain Yun Zhao's abilities to you, but I don't think I have time at this particular point in the game. I feel like I need to cover bot. Alright, this is Dragon. Well, what Dragon would be in League. But it's actually Turtle here. Now I'm going to steal the enemy's jungle at this point, because I don't think they have a jungler. So here we go. There we go. That would be their Krug. I'm going to take their blue buff. I'm also going to pick up my ult now. Now my ult gives me a massive boost in speed and attack... movement speed and attack speed. So I'll be able to get close to targets and use my throw to set up teammates. Looks like there's nobody going bot, like for either team. I could take advantage of that.
Your whole body is a weak spot.
Ally slain.
Also, whenever you're hearing ally slain, this game actually currently has it backwards. I think that's the case. I think it's the case. Like, whenever you hear ally slain, you'll notice our score goes up. Up in the top middle of the screen there, you'll see 6-3. Yeah, we are the ones with the higher number of kills. Okay, so now it says enemy slain, but it turns out the enemy actually got a kill. So it's kind of backwards right now. So if you hear ally slain, it's actually a good thing because it means an enemy was slain. Alright, so we got her up there. She's like a blood caster. I don't want to take her on under turret, but I can approach their Yun Zhao up here by going mid. No, he's going to hug turret. Okay, I'll let him hug turret. I don't want to fall behind in experience. So I'm gonna fight the creeps in their jungle a little bit here.
Ally slain.
Oh, here comes their Yun Zhao. He wants to pick a fight with me. So I'm gonna pop my ult. I'm gonna get behind him so that I can use this to throw him backwards. Come on, buddy.
You
Oh!
have slain an enemy.
Okay, I was gonna throw him backwards, but the ability that throws him backwards actually just ended up killing him, I think.
Ally slain.
Okay, so that's good. We're getting ally slain a lot. Okay, I need to lock onto an enemy hero to use some of these. Which is done automatically, by the way. Oh, I need to pick up items. I haven't been purchasing items. I've been too busy commentating. Alright, so the items appear in the top right. Man, this is hard to... This is actually very hard to commentate. I should probably do a post-commentary of this. But we'll see, we'll see. I just want to show the gameplay right now. I apologize if this sounds very disorganized. But you're all smart viewers, aren't you? Yeah, I should give you guys more credit. Like, you can tell what's going on. In the top right, whenever you have enough gold... If you play League, you probably notice I have not been shopping. Or it looks like I haven't been shopping. But whenever you earn enough gold for your recommended items, they appear in the top right, and you get to choose which one you want.
Double kill.
Alright, we got a friendly double kill going on mid lane. I'm gonna go help push this since I have a good amount of health and my regen ability is coming up in 4 seconds.
Killing spree.
Alright, there's an opponent. Hey, it's a barrel. But that's not like a normal gangplank barrel, which would deal damage. This guy's name is Bane. His barrels will heal friendlies. Okay, so I'm gonna pop my regen ability. I'm also gonna pop my ult. There we go.
Spree.
So my ult is giving me a massive amount of move and attack speed here. Now this guy thinks he's gonna get me, but I'm gonna move out of the turret range before that happens. Oh, he did get me.
Been slain.
Okay, so I'm gonna use the mouse here. We can click on this and check out the scoreboard and see what's going on. We can see Curtis Denise has 2 items. Suna Lal has 2 items. Where's my? There we are. We got me right there. I've got a couple of items here. If I click on that, okay, it actually doesn't show
Your team
what that is.
destroyed a turret.
I apologize for this yellow circle here. It's actually part of the PlayStation 4 controller thing. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up another level of my ult. And we got these 2 items over here that appeared here. I know what some of these do. And you can see they have a little bit of a description over here as well. So I'm going to pick up my move speed boost since I am the jungler. I need to be able to move quickly. No, I'm actually moving very quick right now. But I think it's because you get a home guard type effect whenever you're leaving the Nexus. But yeah, that's how you purchase items here. Also, you can purchase items by going to the shop. If you click on the shop, you can do it just like with League of Legends. Like if you want to buy a really expensive item, they build just like League of Legends items do. So if you wanted to go custom instead of just recommended, you could do that. I just picked up another item here, so I'm gonna like dash to her and throw her in turret range. Finish her off with some auto attacks.
Slain an enemy.
There we go, no problem. If you're familiar with League of Legends, I feel like I'm using that phrase a lot, but if you are, then this will feel very, very natural to you. Maybe not controlling it, but the way a League of Legends game plays out, if you're comfortable with that, you'll be just as comfortable with it here too.
Enemy slain.
Our team is currently 20 versus 9, which is good. I should go finish off that turret down there. I don't need this blue buff at this point. Blue buff works a little bit differently here. Instead of providing you with mana regeneration, it instead cuts the cost of your abilities by 50%. Additionally, it does give you cooldown reduction the same way blue buff normally does in League.
Enemy slain.
Okay, so I want to take out this turret. I normally play a ranged champion, so picking off these minions in come here. So picking off these minions at range is usually something I can do while they're under the influence of the opposing turret. Alright, there we go. Cleared out that wave.
Destroyed a turret.
Pick up the 3rd rank of my 2nd ability there. Now, I need to be able to use my regen ability. You can see it down there, so I'm going to use that right now. It's going to heal me up. As you can see, this is League of Legends, just much more streamlined. Whoa, how many of them are here? We got a couple of them here. Okay, let's put this guy right there so we can just kind of rock him. Okay, we got some good poke damage off. Looks like we got one of my teammates, wow, just going all in. Alright, fine.
Ally slain.
I'm going to lock onto that guy.
You have slain an enemy.
There we go, I popped my ult and it lasted just long enough to be able to get a double kill in there.
Ally slain.
I'll pick up the Fallen Sword now and a Vitality Crystal to provide more hit points. I need this turret not to hit me. Alright, so I'm gonna go top lane. No, I don't need to go top lane. We need to finish off bot or mid here.
It would take an army to stop me.
It would take an army to stop me, says Yun Zhao.
Destroyed a turret.
Alright, still leveling up my first ability there. Now, you'll notice this game has been going on for like 8 minutes now, and we're already at the tier 3 turret here. Wow, okay, I should just straight up recall at this point. Now, there's not really much to do.
Only the fearless heart can soar to the heavens.
I'm gonna recall.
Your
Oh, whoa!
team destroyed a turret.
They're trying to surround me here. Yun Zhao's trying to flank me. The opposing Yun Zhao.
Ally slain.
Your impudence
Okay,
will not
so
be
I'm gonna
tolerated.
recall. I could use my regen ability again. It is off cooldown. Yeah, come get me under turret. That'd be fun. I could use regen, but I mean, it won't heal me up
Only
that
the
much.
fearless heart can soar to the heavens.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up an armor ability because I know they have a Yun Zhao, and I'm not. Oh, actually, they have a caster. Let me see.
Killing spree.
Let me take a look at who they have. I know that she's a caster, but how's she doing? 0 and 4. Okay, their Yun Zhao has more kills. He's gonna be doing the most damage. So I'm gonna pick up the armor item, which is that one right there. So I can play with the cursor. I can play with this yellow dot over here using the controller, which is my control stick. Or of course I can play with just the hotkeys that I've assigned to the controller buttons here. And that's what I'm doing. So it's actually a lot of fun this way. Looks like we have Layla chasing Layla out here. Wow! Wow! Why wouldn't you turn on that? Okay. Let's catch her. Oh, I couldn't catch her. I could dive on her. I could use my gap closer, but she was just going down anyway. Alright, so we need this cannon minion to approach, but he's not going to do that. There we go. Cannon minion's in range.
You destroyed a turret.
Pick off a
Soar to the
turret.
heavens.
I'm kind of interested. I wonder if I can ping this right here. I go click, click.
Your team destroyed a turret.
I wonder if anybody will come try and get this guy who's like Baron. I haven't played a game where anybody's gotten him yet. Since we seem to be dominating this match.
Your team destroyed a turret.
Since we seem to be dominating this match, I kind of want to try that. Oops, let's move my cursor a little bit. Okay, so we've taken out almost all of their turrets, and their Nexus is now exposed. So let's just go get it. I'll pop my ult and just use my massive attack speed boost to finish off the Nexus there. So there we go. What was that? About a 10-minute game?
Victory.
So as you can see, it's basically essentially just like League of Legends. I was able to jungle. I picked up a champion who looks and who is named very similarly to Xin Zhao. I picked up Yun Zhao. I loaded up with a physical emblem set, which is like rune sets, and I picked up Retribution, which is like Smite for a summoner spell. And then I just jungled. I went through my jungle, I picked up buffs, I jumped back and forth between all the lanes in the game, putting pressure on towers where I could, assisting allies whenever there was a fight going on. So yeah, it was basically jungling. It was everything that I've learned from my years of playing League of Legends applied in a mobile format. And it was very streamlined. And you'll notice one of the things that really speeds up gameplay in this game, as opposed to League of Legends, the recent League of Legends matches go on like 40 minutes and this went on 10, and was just as fun. The reason that is because I didn't have to go back and shop a whole bunch. I could shop right in the field. And I didn't lose anything from not going back to a shop. All I did was gain streamlined gameplay. And I could still go through the game's roster of items, its list of items, and pick out items based on the scenario. You actually saw me click into the score screen at one point to see which opposing team members, which members on their team were doing better than others, so I knew whether to get magic resistance or armor, for example. So you can still do all of that. Everything that you can do in League of Legends, for the most part, you can do here. Also, last hitting is not an issue here. They realize that this is a game where you're not necessarily going to have like the tightest mechanics because you're playing on a touch screen. So you're playing on a touchscreen with big buttons, and there are small minions and stuff on the screen. So they know that last hitting isn't going to be something that would just be fun. So you just get gold for being in lane when a minion near you is taken down, which is really cool. And of course, there's still incentive to attack those minions if you want to push a wave. So there's still a whole bunch of things going on that League of Legends does that I feel Mobile Legends does just as well, but in a mobile format. Now, in my mind, I don't see these games as competitors. I want to make that clear. I don't think one is better than the other. Although right now I am having a ton of fun with Mobile Legends, and my inclination is to say, oh yeah, it's the better game. But really, objectively speaking, I know that after some time, after I've played this for a while, I know that League of Legends has aspects to it that Mobile Legends won't be able to compete with. And Mobile Legends has aspects about it that League of Legends probably won't be able to compete with. So, actually, I don't know about that. I think Mobile Legends could learn a lot. League of Legends could learn a lot from this, or Riot could learn a lot from this and implement a lot of these things. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think they're competing games. I really don't. I think, if anything, they go hand in hand. I don't think that these champions in Mobile Legends are clones of the champions in League of Legends. I more see them as sort of like sort of almost like brothers and sisters in arms with those of League of Legends. I see these and their counterparts as units that work together, because like if you learn Gangplank, or we'll take Xin Zhao for example. If you learn Xin Zhao in League of Legends and then you pick up Yun Zhao in Mobile Legends, it's gonna feel very similar. Yeah, you don't have the knock-up that Xin Zhao does, but you've got a throwback like Singed. So you can still do the things that Xin Zhao does, which is set up your team for ganks and attacks and separate the opposing team's carries and stuff like that. You can and move tanks around and things. You can still do that kind of stuff by like locking them down. You lock them down with Xin Zhao. With Xin Zhao, you jump in, you lock them down with a knock-up, you hit them with your fast attack speed, and you use your ultimate to separate everybody from your target, so you can try and assassinate a carry. With Yun Zhao, you do essentially the same thing. You pop his ult, he gets massive move speed, he gets massive attack speed, you move in and you separate their carry from the rest of the team by throwing them back, or you pull a tank away from the opposing team by throwing them back. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do here. They serve similar roles, and I think if you play League of Legends, you will enjoy Mobile Legends without feeling like you are betraying League, or something along those lines. They really feel like the same game in many aspects. So anyway, it's really, really cool. I'm going to go ahead and bring this particular video to a close, but I will hit continue first. Here's the score screen. I should have been on this screen the entire time that I was talking. Oh, it looks like one of our teammates bought 2 pairs of boots. Whoopsie! We all know what that's like, don't we, whenever it comes to League of Legends. Bought 2 pairs of boots. I had 5 items, and I think those are all fully built. I can't click on them to see their descriptions or anything like that. But yeah, oh yeah, there's also medals and things that you can earn as you play. I earned a gold one apparently, and the next step up is MVP. I normally get MVP. I've gotten MVP in most of my games, but not this one. Perhaps because, well, I'm not gonna say it's perhaps because I was doing commentary. No, I'm not gonna take anything away from this guy. This guy just played really well, so he got MVP. You play really well, you'll get MVP up in here, which is really cool. And here's the opposing team. The opposing team. This guy's got 3 pairs of boots. So anyway, this is a new game. Well, to me, I don't know how long it's been out, to be honest with you, but you can get it on the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. My point being that it's new to me, so I'm still playing, I guess, what would be the early stages of the game. So I'm not really running into all of the really competitive MOBA players yet, but I'm sure as I rank up, as I play more, the game will realize more along the lines what my skill level is, and I'll be coming up against more experienced MOBA players, and it'll start to feel even more like League of Legends in that case. But one thing I really like about this game is how much it streamlines from League of Legends, and in my opinion, that makes it just I don't want to say so much more fun, but I at the same time do want to say drastically so much more fun. It makes it really, 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 really fun to play this game because, like I said, League of Legends can be a commitment. You queue up. Like, from the time that you decide to play, you hit that play button in League of Legends in the client. From the time that you hit play to the time that you start your match, that's like 10 minutes. And then you've got like a 40-minute match ahead of you. So you're committing like about an hour of your time to play a League of Legends match. But here, you get that same experience, and it took me 10 to 15 minutes from the time I decided to play. So it's crazy good. It's really fun. I strongly recommend trying it out. But yeah, that will do it for this particular video. I hope you folks enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you folks next time.